What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Business Choreography Podcast. Today is an interview, and today we have Laurel Archer joining us. And Laurel has been teaching English for 30 plus years. She has extensive experience teaching children and adults both English and French, as well as teaching English as a second language to adults. Laurel started her company, Cary Tutor, in Cary, North Carolina in 2010. And now has her online courses and videos to help students in other areas of the world as Laurel's Learning Lab, and is starting a membership for them so they can access her knowledge and passion for English to achieve their goals. So super excited to have her, and let's cue the theme song and then we will introduce you to her.
Listen, there's a lot to learn when growing and scaling your business.
That's why we created the Business Choreography Podcast, where we talk about choreographing your marketing, operations, and sales into dynamic systems that increase your revenue and your impact.
We'll explore solid business principles and discuss all things that make businesses dance to success with clarity.
We'll help you figure out where the holes are in your business and what you can do to fix them. Think of us as your official business choreographers, aka your insider growth strategists.
Remember, your choreography matters. Welcome to the Business Choreography Podcast. Laurel, welcome. It is such a pleasure to have you on the show today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
absolutely. That is, you're doing some incredible things, and I can't wait to dig in and find out more about your journey and about how you got here and share with everybody sort of what happened to get to this point. So Lex, lead off the way and let's dig in.
Okay, awesome. Actually, you go ahead and lead the way.
You got it.
Okay.
Let's just dig in a little bit to your journey. How did you end up doing all that cool stuff that Lexi was talking about? How did you end up on this journey to teaching people language and all this stuff you're doing?
Well, when I was young, I knew somehow I would be a teacher. My dad was a professor. He loved languages, and I was in this environment where I loved all this stuff. I wasn't as astute as him in learning 20 languages like he did, but I was interested in languages and how they sounded and things like that when I was young. Like, he taught me some prayers when I was young and all that kind of stuff. So when I went to college, I was even considering doing teaching, but I didn't do it. I just did literature and French. I'm like, okay, now what do I do with that? So I took a couple jobs, and then I started teaching without even a degree. And I loved it, but I was like, okay, kindergartners do not listen to you unless you have some kind of method. So if you don't have a plan, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And so I started thinking about, okay, what do I want to do after this? And I got my master's degree in education at that point. And I had teaching under my belt, 1 year. And a lot of people didn't have that clinical experience. So it was kind of cool for me to go, oh, yeah, this works in the classroom or this doesn't. And so when I decided to, start teaching, I couldn't find a job. And I was looking all over. I substituted everywhere. I did all these different things, a lot of variety. And I finally, I got some jobs, but I'd only be there for a year or so. And, I just never felt like I was home any place that I went. I went there for, a while, and then I went the ups and downs and the faculty and the parents and the homework and staying, up late on weekends, just correcting papers. And I did all the stuff that teachers normally do.
Right.
And I thought this was cool. I love teaching them, but I don't love all the stuff that goes along with that.
Right.
And nowadays, I can't even imagine being in the school system. So I'm so glad that I'm not there. But I have such an entrepreneurial spirit that I didn't really fit anywhere because I wanted to control my destiny, And so I just wasn't content with the status quo. And, I did it because I wanted to learn. And the first time that I taught adults, this is home. I love this.
Right.
So I love kids, but as I got older, I was not interested in babysitting anymore. I wanted to teach adults. So I still teach kids to this day sometimes, but it's usually 1-on-1 or maybe 2-on-1. It's never a classroom. The lowest I've taught is 6th grade. I taught some French classes for an academy nearby. 3 years. and just a quarter. And I like that, but man, it's a lot of work, and I love doing what I do now. So
Wow.
Love it.
that's where I am. I started Carry Tutor in 2010, and I only had a couple students. I was kind of trying to exit my marriage and establish something for myself before I left. And that was a big step for me.
That's
And
amazing.
I've never looked back since.
What did you do that allowed you to have your business hit your first like growth period?
I think it's just a culmination of all the activities that you do. So I was big into networking. I was big into being in the Chamber of Commerce. I was big into talking to people and going out to network and doing all the things you have to do just grassroots to try and get your name out there. I had a page on, I had carrytutor.com. I got that right away. And, later on when people said, what's carrytutor.com? Is your name Carrie? I said, no, I live in Cary. And so then I had to think about another identity, which is Laurel's Learning Lab. But for, 8 years or so, I was just Carrie Tutor.
Right.
And so I think just finding the students, having success, feeling more confident every time I had one, figuring out my pricing, figuring out, how to make this more of a business rather than a hobby, with some
Wow.
help from people around me.
Yeah.
Very cool. I love all the networking that you did. It can be such a powerful thing to utilize. And even, online, a lot of people look at it and go, well, I'm doing online stuff. Like I don't have to network anymore, but it's still such a powerful tool.
Yeah, yeah. And you really have to have the mindset that the networking is important.
Right.
Just
Right.
like content marketing is important now to be online, networking is important to get your name out there because
Sure.
you are your product. You
Sure.
are who the company. And so if people don't know you, then they can just take any tutor or any business person, and everybody is who they are, like real estate and bankers and everybody. They're just a name until you get to know them. And then you're like, oh, I love my banker. I mean, how often does that happen? Right.
So
so,
true.
so
Love
you
that.
really get out there and
Yeah.
talk to people and show that you're a real person.
Cool. What's been one of the hardest things that you've experienced and overcome in business that you could share with people?
Absolutely, hands down, the hardest thing is to say to yourself, I am not quitting. I am not quitting. I am not going back to corporate. I'm not going back to teaching in the classroom like I did before. I'm not going back to whatever. And I have, in the 12 years I've been doing this, taken independent contracting jobs. And I've done different things within my niche. But, I started doing resumes and I started doing I don't know, some other things, editing and all that kind of stuff. But it's within, what I do. It's not completely different. I think there was a one short period where I took some job where I was standing in Best Buy helping people buy computers. I'm like, this is not who I am. I don't
Right.
care if I need the money that bad. This is not me. So I didn't do that much, but I really tried to stick to who I am and stretch who I am,
Sure.
but stay within that so I could be. And I've also done network marketing and some other things that on
Right.
the side. So I love new things, but I also know that they don't resonate with who I am. I can't do them for long.
Right. I love that. I mean, and like you said earlier, you're classic entrepreneur. Just you have that entrepreneurial spirit, and in so many instances, we as entrepreneurs are trying to make that next thing work and the thing that we're in love with. Like you said, have you ever had to on your journey in this business? Have you ever had to throw a Hail Mary? I mean, I know you said, "Hey, I found myself trying to sell computers or something," but what can you think of one of your Hail Mary moments where it's just like, okay, let's just throw this out there and see if we can make it work and keep going and keep the ship moving?
Well, I mean, the hardest thing is when at the end of the month you don't have enough money to pay rent or something like that. You've
Right.
tried everything you can and you're just like, all right, I'll give you one good example of the way my, higher power God works. He actually has saved me a couple times. And this time in particular was a student that I was teaching. He was learning French, and he was from another country, and he had a big business. And I guess he had, a lot of money that he could spend, and he just wanted to learn French so he'd go to a country that spoke French and do his business there. And there was one point where we were moving into a new place, and we needed $750 to deposit, for the deposit. And I didn't have it. And my husband wasn't working full time. And so we thought of, okay, what if he can forward us, the money, and I can teach him and see what he says. And he actually did that.
Wow.
And the crazy thing is, after we had done a couple of sessions, then he disappeared. I couldn't find him anywhere. He had moved on or something. And I was like, okay, thank you, God, for giving me this money. I'm so sorry that he's not around, but I've tried everything to reach him. And I guess it was just a gift from you.
Wow.
Right. I love how resourceful you were in that situation. That's very cool. And I think that's great for lots of different types of entrepreneurs and businesses to hear. Sometimes you just have to figure it out, and sometimes you just have to be resourceful and think outside of the box to make it work. So.
Yeah. And just, well, I think part of it is your mindset.
Yeah.
How do I make this work? What can I do? Let's think outside the box. Let's think of some, and I've had people say, yeah, I can give you money for your honeymoon, and then you can teach me afterwards. Or I can give you money for, and I don't like to appear desperate before people, and I don't have to anymore, thank God. But at the beginning, it was like, if I don't get this money, I'm not going to eat today,
Right.
and
Right.
we've all been there, and so it's something that you don't want to prolong it or make, but you cannot also quit right when you're 10 feet from gold.
Right.
I love that. I love the 10 feet from gold. Such a cool concept. So
I've been reading recently Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. And he's the owner of Nike, and just listening to the experiences that he's gone through. A lot of people and a lot of entrepreneurs try to kind of maybe fake it through that portion of time, and you kind of have to, right? And maybe for your own sake, you just got to make it through those periods of time. And you think of Nike and you think of this massive corporation and this huge entity, and you think there's no way that they ever went through anything like it, but it's not true. It's not true at all. In fact, in reading and listening to his story, it was super inspirational because he has the same experiences that all of us as entrepreneurs go through, and it's really great when you look at it as big as something as Nike.
Right.
What are some of the biggest challenges of running a business in today's market and in today's time that you've been experiencing?
Well, you have to be certain of what you want to do, and that's hard to be certain sometimes. There's so many choices out there now. So when I first started, the only way to tutor was in person, and you had to get out there to people, maybe on directories or from networking or from referrals or real people. There wasn't a lot online. And now that there's so much more online, it's good, but it's also bad, right? It's so much that you can do. And there's so many places that you have to reach out to. I'm on here and I'm on there and I'm on everywhere because I don't know where my next client is coming from. So I want to be present everywhere. And you can't be good at every platform. So you really have to pick what platforms you're good at, what resonates with your student, and where you feel most comfortable. And you also have to figure out how you're going to market. And that's the biggest thing is, people are good at what they do, but they're not good at marketing what they do.
Right. Totally. Yeah, it's so true. Marketing is such an important piece, and not everyone realizes that. I've had people come back to me and go, I don't need marketing. I'm like, but you have a business, right? Yeah, but I don't need marketing. I'm so confused. That doesn't make any sense. You have to have marketing. You have to market yourself
Right.
in order to get out there. And so I love that you talked about that. Well, awesome. How can people learn more about you and what you're doing?
Well, the best place to go is laurelslearninglab.com. Sorry about my cat.
No worries.
She's like a thief in the night. Yeah, so it's Laurel, LAURELS, learninglab.com. And it's a work in progress, as things always are, but it has courses on there that people can take that I've put on different sites over the years and just put on here as a place for people to come. And there's free and there's paid, and now I have a membership up, but there's nothing in it yet, so I'm just starting it, and so it's exciting that I have a membership there.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so there's also free resources and other things there. There's all my links to social media as well. So YouTube is big for me. I have some LinkedIn presence and Instagram and Facebook, and I also have a big community on WhatsApp. So
Great.
if people go on my WhatsApp contact me bubble, they can go directly to my, I think, personal. I have a WhatsApp business, so they can talk to me personally and talk to me and get into my group there and other things. So, and I just started Clubhouse too. So I don't have any Clubhouse links up, but that's where I'm excited about being, because I'm going to start teaching Clubhouse twice a week. It's an audio only, phone only app.
Okay.
So have you guys heard of it?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Are you on it?
No, we don't. It's not one of our channels.
No.
Yeah. So I was resistant too, and I decided to just go for it because it's exactly what I need. I need to talk to people, and that's what I'm good at. And I talked to a guy this morning. He's from Angola, and on WhatsApp, and he goes, "I have just completed my dream." I said, "I'm the first native English speaker you've ever spoken to?" He said, "Yes."
Wow,
that's amazing. I love that.
Incredible.
So yeah, so that's what I need to do. And so yeah, that's where you can reach me and connect with me any way you need to there.
Awesome. Amazing. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to join us today and share with us a bit of what you're doing and your journey and your experience. And everybody go check out her site and be able to find out more there. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we'll see you guys next time on the next episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us today.
Want more business choreography?
Check out our website at bizchoreo.com to find out more.
And find out how the choreography for your marketing, operations, and sales can raise your revenue and create more impact.
Remember, every business needs choreography.